Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm Tonya Arnesen, Senior Pastor of Jackson First United Methodist Church, and this is Children's Story Time for Thursday. We've been reading together Jesus' storybook Bible, all kinds of stories from way, way long ago, but all of them point in some way to Jesus. Today, we're going to hear about King David, the teeny weeny true king. God's people had a new land. Now they wanted a king. But God is your king, Samuel told them. He is the one who looks after you best. We want a real king, said the people, one we can see. God knew a king might not be kind to his people or look after them as well as God would. But God's people didn't care. They wanted a king and they wanted him now. So God gave them a king. He was called Saul. And he seemed like a good king at first, but he became proud and stopped listening to God. He didn't obey God or love God with his whole heart. Saul can't help with my plan, God said. Here's Saul here. I need a king who loves me and will teach my people to love me. I need a true king, God. God had just the one in mind. Go to Bethlehem, God told Samuel. You'll find the new king there. It was Samuel's job, and Samuel was a prophet. It was Samuel's job to listen to God and to tell people what God said. So Samuel went to Bethlehem just as God told him to do. God told Samuel to go to Jesse's house. God was going to choose one of Jesse's sons to be a new king. Jesse had 7 strong sons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, in those days, if you were going to be the king, you didn't have to be the richest or the cleverest, although that was always nice. You had to look like a king, which meant you had to be the tallest and the strongest, so you could carry the largest swords and biggest armor and defeat everyone. And it didn't hurt to be handsome, too. Do you think any of those sons are king material? I don't know. Samuel asked Jesse to bring him each son in turn. So Jesse brought the oldest, tallest, strongest son. This must be the new king, Samuel thought. He looks like a king. But God did not choose him. You're thinking about what he looks like on the outside, God told Samuel, but I am looking at his heart, what he's like on the inside. So Jesse showed Samuel his next oldest, tallest, strongest son. But God did not choose him either. In fact, God didn't choose any of the 7 sons. Samuel said, "Is that all?" And Jesse laughed. "Oh, well, there's the youngest one, but he's just the weakling of the family. He's only teeny." "Bring him," said Samuel. There's Jesse's son. Jesse's youngest son came running up, and God spoke quietly to Samuel. "This is the one." His name was David. "He has a heart like mine," said God. "It is full of love. He will help me with my secret rescue plan. And one of his children's children's children will be the king, and that king will rule the world forever." Here he comes out of the fields. You see, he's been tending the sheep in the fields. Samuel anointed David's head with oil. See here? Which was a special way to show that you are God's chosen king. You will be the new king one day, Samuel told him. And sure enough, when David grew up, he did become king. God chose David to be king because God was getting his people ready for an even greater king who was coming. Once again, God would say, "Go to Bethlehem. You'll find the new king there." And there, one starry night in Bethlehem, in the town of David, 3 wise men found the king. And you know who we're talking about now. The baby Jesus in the manger. That's right. That's right. Remember, boys and girls, no matter what you look like, how strong or how fast or how smart you are, people look at the outside of you, but God looks at the inside. And God sees how kind and good and loving you are. And God is the one who counts in terms of opinions. So don't worry what other people think about you. Just know that the most important thing is what God thinks of you. And He believes that you are really special and beloved. Amen.